Within the entire Jurassic Park franchise, there has always been a theme of control, and with the creation of the dinosaurs, the world has been presented with the fact that no one can ever be in control when it comes to nature. And Ian Malcolm, the now famous chaotician, has always been presented as the voice of reason who warns the characters of their mistakes and what they'll cause. And with those who have only chosen to pay attention to the films, I can't stress enough the importance of reading both novels. For example, one scene that is in the first novel actually shows Dr. Ian Malcolm as the character who shows the failure in John Hammond's goals of controlling the animals that he knew nothing about. And for anyone who hasn't read the first novel, this is how Ian Malcolm proved the failure of Jurassic Park. During the tour, Grant and Gennaro were discussing a discovery that the doctor had made, and Gennaro was stating that the dinosaurs simply cannot breed. It must be a bird egg that he had found. But Alan was not having it. Look at the curvature, the thickness of the shell. Unless you've got ostriches on this island, this is a dinosaur egg. Dr. Harding again doesn't agree and simply says that they're all female and they possibly cannot breed. All I know, Grant says, is that this is a dinosaur egg. Then Dr. Malcolm comes up to Grant and asks if he can tell the species, to which Grant replies yes, it's a velociraptor egg. Back at Control, Hammond can't believe what he's hearing on the radio and insists that it must be a bird egg and that's all it could be. Let's do a little test then, shall we, says Malcolm over the radio, and he asks Mr. Arnold to run one of the computer tallies for all the dinosaurs. Arnold says that it'll be no problem, and a moment later the screen prints out the total dinosaurs, with all of the expected dinosaurs being found. Well, I hope you're satisfied, says Hammond over the radio, before asking if they received it on the screen there. Malcolm says that they can see it just fine. Now then, can you have the computer search for a different number of animals? Arnold asks what kind of number, and Malcolm simply says, try 239. Arnold says it'll be just a minute, and a moment later the screen prints again, with all the species being verified again. Except out of the expected 49 procompsognathids, the computer found one more. Hammond sat forward. What the hell is that, he said. We picked up another compy. From where, the billionaire asked, to which nobody in the room could seem to answer. The radio crackled again with Malcolm's voice. Now then, can you ask the computer to search for, say, 300 animals? That'll take a few minutes, but I can do it, Arnold says. Hammond sits up, confused and worried. What the hell is he talking about? 300 animals? The total number rose to 234. Hammond looks confused. What's going on, he asks. The computer is counting all the animals in the park, Wu says. All of the animals. Hammond started to show his concern. I thought it always did that. Nedry, have you screwed up again? Nedry immediately said no and explained that the computer allows the operator to enter an expected number of animals, that way making the process of counting them easier. It's a convenience, not a flaw. Unfortunately, both Wu and Arnold realized the mistake that they have done. The total of animals goes up to 262. Wait a minute, Hammond says. My animals can't breed. The computer must be counting field mice or something. He turns to Wu and asks, they can't breed, can they? Wu insists that they cannot. The total rose to 270. Where are they coming from, Arnold says. And Wu just said damned if he knew. The number had rose to 283. Over the radio, they heard Gennaro say, holy shit, how much more? Before the computer printed error. Search params, 300 animals, not found. Hammond sat back, relaxing. An error, he said. I thought so. But then the screen printed the total. Out of the expected 238 dinosaurs, there were now 292. Most of the animals stayed the same. Both Rexes were found, all 8 trikes, and all 7 Dilophosaurus were accounted for. But other animals were coming up more numerous. Out of an expected 21 Myosaurus, there were now 22. Where there should only have been 49 compies, there are now 65. Out of an expected 16 Othnielia, there are now 23. And also, one more Hypsilophodontid was accounted for. However, out of the expected 8 Velociraptors, There was now 37 counted. Now you see the flaw in your procedures, Malcom says over the radio. You only attract the expected number of dinosaurs, and you were worried about losing any, and in this you encountered a different problem. You had more than the expected number. Both Arnold and Wu couldn't believe this, but Malcom reassured them that they were in fact breeding. Then Muldoon stood up. This means there were raptors loose in the park. Hammond told everybody to relax and stated that there was only a small increase in a few species, and there wasn't anything to panic over. But Wu couldn't believe this talk. "Do you know what this means?" he said. "Of course I do. It means you screwed up, Henry," Hammond screams at him. But then the radio clicks again, this time with Grant's voice. "I think this confirms that breeding is taking place on 7 different sites on the island." While this scene was not specifically shown in the first movie, the message about control has always been a part of the entire franchise. The data that the technicians of Jurassic Park put so much trust into was now turning on them. However, despite this major flaw pointed out by Ian Malcolm, many employees such as John Hammond and Dr. Wu would still believe that they had control, even though there were obvious errors within the system, and one might say that they were truly chaotic. And with the fact that as the audience reads the novel, we are already aware that dinosaurs were already on the mainland, and this scene is a perfect way of showing the fact that Jurassic Park would never have control of these dinosaurs, and that they never did. I've always loved how this scene is played out, and how Ian Malcolm shows that Jurassic Park was never going to be a success, and that it was simply not to be. And with his story coming to back for Jurassic World Dominion, I cannot wait to see what moments from the novel for Ian Malcolm will be brought to life by Jeff Goldblum in the new film. But anyway, guys, that is going to wrap up this Michael Crichton video. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm glad we're getting back into this. I apologize for not doing it for a while. We will be doing a lot more of these, probably 1 or 2 every month for sure, as they take a long time to record and edit, but I hope you guys can understand that. Now, if you have enjoyed this video and want to see more Michael Crichton moments from the novels, I'd appreciate the like, and if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button and join the hunt, as we are almost at 1,000 subscribers. Be safe, and until next time, I'll see you later. Bye-bye!